The American bison, also known as the buffalo, once had a population of around 30 million in the wild. However, when Europeans colonized the Americas, they started hunting bison extensively, leading to one of the largest animal massacres in history. By 1884, the wild bison population dwindled to just 300 individuals. There's a famous photograph from the late 19th century showing people standing on a massive pile of bison skulls. What happened? Why did the American Army decimate the bison population? Before we start, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive our videos as soon as they're released. The bison is a large type of cattle that was once widespread across the grasslands and prairies from Alaska in the north to the Gulf of Mexico in the south. It was the largest mammal in North America. Native Americans relied heavily on bison for various needs. They used its meat for food, its summer hide for making tents, and its winter hide for blankets and clothing. Even its bones and horns were used to make tools. Bison were incredibly abundant, with numbers ranging from 30 to 60 million in the wild. Despite their abundance, Native Americans only hunted bison as needed. In the 1850s, Europeans had a firm grip on the Americas and had settled there. The United States had declared its independence decades earlier, but Native Americans were still present in large numbers, especially in the central and western parts of the country, particularly in the Great Plains region. Hence, they were called Plains Indians. Why did the American Army exterminate the bison? The Europeans wanted to confine Native Americans to small villages and take over their lands. They believed it was their destiny to expand westward, a concept known as ManifestDestiny. The Plains Indians resisted and fought back, causing significant losses for the Europeans. Given the complex terrain and the Native Americans' familiarity with it, the Europeans faced great difficulty. At that time, the American Army, recently emerged from a civil war, couldn't afford more battles. So they came up with a cunning plan. The Army's leader, WilliamSherman, suggested that instead of fighting the Plains Indians directly, they should target the bison, the primary resource for the Native Americans. By exterminating the bison, they could starve the Native Americans into submission. The decimation of the bison. The American Army gave the green light to thousands of European hunters to kill bison. Despite treaties between the Army and tribal leaders prohibiting hunters from entering their lands, the Americans ignored these agreements. They protected the hunters and provided them with weapons and ammunition. The cavalry also participated in the slaughter. When Native Americans and rights organizations protested, a law was passed in 1874 to ban bison hunting. However, President Ulysses Grant vetoed the law, allowing hunting to continue. Americans even promoted recreational hunting, inviting Europeans to hunt bison for sport. Thousands of bison were killed daily. In 1876, a European hunter alone killed 5,800 bison in 2 months. Hunters would shoot bison, take their hides, and leave the meat to rot. Some even poisoned the meat to kill predators like wolves, which were then skinned for their fur. This led to further destruction of the ecosystem. The aftermath. By the late 1880s, the bison population had plummeted to between 300 and 500 individuals, with some estimates as low as 100. The strategy succeeded, and the Plains Indians were forced to surrender due to starvation. They left their lands and moved to reservations while European companies took over the land and resources. In a turn of irony, once the Native Americans were subdued, Americans began to express concern over the dwindling bison population, advocating for animal rights and banning illegal hunting. Wealthy Americans had kept some bison on private farms, which were later placed in large reserves to help the population recover. Today, the bison population has rebounded to around 500,000, but it's still a fraction of its original numbers. The issue of the Native Americans, however, remains unresolved. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to like, and if you have suggestions for future episodes, let us know in the comments. Goodbye.